Hi.
Woohoo!
Ooh, nice background.
Yeah, I love a theme. That's my theme of like the last 2 weeks is that I love a theme. I think I've said it.
Okay.
It's going to be my new tagline.
Well, this is our Mother's Day edition of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I mean,
Um,
our Mother's Day edition of 30 Tuesdays.
don't worry, she's only
Hand That
4
Rocks
beers
the
in.
Cradle.
It's like combination late Mother's Day, also halfway to Halloween because it is
Yes,
scary.
it is scary.
In ways that are different
And we
now.
have some other moms tonight.
I'm not a mom. I'm a super auntie. However,
Yeah, it hits different. So let's add Mina first. Hi,
Hello.
Mina.
Hi.
Mina,
Welcome back.
I love you guys.
We love you.
You guys continuously like push me to watch these new films that I've always heard about, and I'm so excited to like dive into this.
Perfect. That's exactly what we're here for.
It's funny because when we decided we were going to do that, I was like, oh, should we ask Mina? And
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, she's a mom. Let's fucking do it. Because I don't have kids, so I felt like we needed more mommies on the stream for this one.
Yeah.
Specifically.
So the other mom joining us is my cousin Sade, who's really more like my sister. We grew up so close. So let's add Sade. Hi, Sade.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad that Tanya mentioned that I'm like her sister because she really did do horrible sisterly things to me.
Oh, do tell.
Oh, Tanya it was weird because she was my favorite. I loved her. Like I was obsessed.
Still.
Like,
past tense. I love the past tense.
Still your favorite.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Let's be clear.
Yes, still my very favorite. But Tanya was crazy.
See, I heard all these things from Tanya about her being like such a well-behaved and good kid.
I'm sorry.
Tanya
was the one that always pushed the envelope. Always.
So it's so okay. So your D&D is basically the same. D&D Tanya is basically Tanya as a kid.
Tanya pushed the envelope. And
Tanya,
was...
deny,
then lie.
Yeah, what you get when you have two lawyers on the stream, Sade.
I see that.
I say that all the time now, Tanya, by the way.
Oh, really? It's like my favorite phrase. Deny, then lie.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, I was an excellent big sister. You did that the opposite way, Nick.
I know, I totally did. I just had food and like it was all delicious. However, there was lactose hidden in there somewhere because I am so fucking flummy right now.
Oh man.
Well, you ladies having drinks tonight? I am having a Queen Stout from Harlem Brewing Company. And the lady on it has a whole profile. Ooh. So she's a Leo.
It looks bedazzled from here.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not bedazzled. It just has like a beady kind of decorations. I bought it because it's a cool can. I've never had it before. Anyway, Nikki, you having a drink tonight? You're muted.
Never gonna get it right. No, I had water, but I left it over there.
Poison.
So I'll be actually since we're talking about poison. No, yeah. So I had to go get it. My week is too busy for me to drink as much as I would like today. I'm being a responsible adult. I even said adult.
Wow.
I understand.
Sade, are you breaking your no drinking rule tonight for the first time?
I'm having apple juice.
Good choice.
Apple juice.
Mina, how about you?
So I have water, but at some point you're going to see me not here. I'm going to go make myself a margarita mocktail.
Nice.
So, yep, kicking it hardcore.
Yes. Well, I'm going to hopefully like this stout because I bought 2 of them.
I just looked at my little avatar and the fact that it says choosing violence underneath it.
She looks so happy.
So happy. How very apt for this movie.
Right? Oh, man. Well, let's get into it.
Mina, do you remember? Oh, no, your first time watching it was recently.
Yes. Oh, my God. Okay. So I guess the way my brain works is like the imagery for me.
Mhm.
Like the opening credits where we see I feel like it just sets the stage how we watched the other movie, where it was like the winds of change coming into the beginning.
Unfaithful.
Yes. So this particular movie, the house being shown in like white, sort of like purity sort of imagery, and it almost looked like a church.
Mm.
It really set the tone for, this is a good family and good things happen here. It wasn't like a cult white, you know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah.
but it was like this is like peaceful, and I was like, oh, I could live here. But it was very much like a sanctuary, sort of church-like environment, which was really cool. And then to see Solomon show up in white, to me was a representation that he was also attached to that purity, and which he was, obviously. But it was just I love the way the imagery is done in this movie.
Nikki, when was the first time you watched it?
You know what? I actually don't remember ever having watched it. Like, I know that let's see. So when I watched it today twice, because this was the first time I had time to watch it. But I think I'd heard about it more because, it was rated R, and we know how my parents work with rated R movies. But I remember hearing my mom talk on the phone about it to my aunts. And just like, she was like, I can't believe she did that with the baby. She's feeding it from the breast. And I was like, what movie are they talking about? And so I knew that I knew this part, and I think I'd seen the end. But I don't think I've actually seen it, the whole thing, until today.
So I think before I actually saw this movie, I saw In Living Color make fun of it. There was they had a
Googling
sketch
right now.
Yeah. Jim Carrey, I think it was Jim Carrey, plays the nanny. Back when he was James Carrey. I think it was him. And they have like a whole sketch where, yes, it was, because he's like a bodybuilding nanny.
I saw that.
Yeah, that his bodybuilding character with the tiny pigtails.
Yes.
And because I remember the scene of him breastfeeding the baby was so crazy looking. And then like the falling onto the fence, like there was like a whole gag about it. So I didn't know what any of that meant, but I remember that sketch was really funny. And then Sade, do you remember when we first actually watched the movie? You're muted.
Sorry. I don't. I know that when it came out, I was only 4. So I don't believe that it was there, because I don't think you retain memory much before that. Honestly, I'm going to say I was probably still a lot younger, maybe like 6, 7, because we used to watch it repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like we
It
would
came out in 1992. So
right. But we watched it in
a lot.
1993.
Like 5 times a week. And I think it was my mom that actually brought that to us.
Did she?
I think she brought us like a bunch of VHSs. And that was one of them. I really feel like I remember her doing that.
And they're like, look at this one. It's a nursery rhyme.
So Sade and I, we lived around the corner from each other. Our moms are sisters. And basically, Sade just got dropped off at our house and could just stay for days,
long
weeks.
periods of time.
Didn't really matter.
Yeah.
And yeah, they would drop off VHSs for us, but nobody supervised us.
Right.
So that's how we ended up watching The Hand That Rocks the Cradle every day.
Wow.
Every day.
On a regular basis.
Wow.
And that's why I literally haven't watched it since I was a child, but I pretty much remember everything.
I mean, we watched it a lot. Like this went on for like probably a couple years where we were watching it like a couple times a week. Sure. I love this movie.
Dude, it's really good. I gotta say, so I sat down after work and I started watching it. And I was maybe, I don't know, 7 minutes in. I was like, okay. I have to get up and walk away. I can't do this. And then I sat down again and I got maybe 40 minutes in and I was like, it's a drinking night. This movie's gonna drive me to drink. And then I forgot, because then I got lost in it. But I was like, I was disturbed and I was upset. And I just like, this whole movie is a bitch. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think watching it now as a mom, especially as a mom currently looking for a babysitter, it hits a little different.
Yeah, it's traumatizing.
And it's so traumatizing because I actually do think everyone wants to steal my kids. They're adorable.
They're
Mhm.
I
adorable.
do think they might be given back after after Garvey gets a hold of them.
Oh, come
But
on now. That would even sell them further. Black market babies.
they'd absolutely bring him back.
I think that Tanya asking me to do this prompted me to have a dream the other night that somebody was stealing my baby.
Really?
Oh.
And then I was reading, like, I'm obsessed with the am I the asshole things.
Me too.
So I read one, not read one. I listened to one yesterday, I think, and it was about a guy who lost his wife after she gave birth to their child, and he asked. So the wife's mom volunteered to babysit the child while he was at work, so that he didn't have to pay for like a sitter, and it wasn't a stranger in the house.
Mm-hmm.
He later found out that the mom was breastfeeding the baby.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
No.
She was breastfeeding the baby and told him that if she keeps doing it, it's going to stimulate her hormones to produce milk, which is it's true. That
Yeah.
can happen.
What nurses and things?
However, why are you trying to breastfeed your child's baby? So he ended up firing her as his babysitter and hired a new babysitter. So
Who
like
also tried to breastfeed the baby.
no, but like three days into him having this babysitter, she doesn't come on like the fourth day or something. And he calls her and he's like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Oh, your mom fired me." And yeah, so the mother-in-law had a key to his house, like to be able to come over and whatever. And yeah, so she shows up because obviously she knows she fired the babysitter. So she shows up to take care of the baby, and he ends up calling the police on her and gets her trespassed.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
know, I
That's
thank God
crazy.
every day I have a normal mother-in-law. I swear. Because
Yeah.
what
So
do you
people
mean
are
she's
people are
breastfeeding the baby?
literally sick.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So I mean, I guess that goes hand in hand with this. But
Yeah.
I mean, this lady was of age and was pregnant with a
And that's
child.
like the family member who you trust.
Right. Right.
I wonder. So like what nurses and that type of thing. It's not common anymore. It's people might even be like, wait, what is a wet nurse? A wet nurse is somebody who breastfeeds your baby
Right.
instead of you
Yeah.
for whatever reason, right?
Right. Now they just bank the milk.
Now they just
Yeah.
that's,
And that's
that's a weird toy.
Yeah, right.
That's a weird toy. But I'm wondering, like, let's say 100 years ago, if like you had like your sister, you had a baby and you died, and if your sister was taking care of the baby, would she breastfeed the baby? Like,
I think the
who feeds
sister
this
probably find a
baby?
wet nurse.
Yeah.
Somebody
I
just
believe-
whoever recently had a baby.
Yeah.
But she can try to start.
That's what I'm wondering. So, but I think just like in this day and age, and by that I mean 1992, like the thought of it is horrific. So it was horrific then, so now it's even more so, especially because we know we have information that they don't have.
Also, in 1992, there was a time where people were really pushing formula.
Yes.
So people weren't
When you
even
say
breastfeeding.
people, we mean companies.
Yeah.
Not people.
So like, a lot of women weren't even breastfeeding their own babies anymore. So
Because they had careers, Tanya.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. So it's like these women aren't even breastfeeding their own babies. And yet here you come putting your titty in my baby's mouth.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. What I love
your husband put his fingers in this baby's mother's pussy.
Oh, all right, let's talk about this creepy doctor.
Yeah.
I learned because I almost never have male doctors. And one time I was getting an ultrasound, and when it was a male doctor who was gonna do our ultrasound technician or whatever, he had to have a chaperone. And I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And so I found out that like they have to have chaperones now. Like that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
Is that you have to have a chaperone.
When I was younger, and going to the doctor, like when I was a teenager and stuff, my doctors were always women. But when I was in my late 20s, I had this Jamaican gynecologist, and he's the only one who didn't have a chaperone in the room. But I also was like the woman would just like came in and out, but she wasn't there for the whole procedure. And I also was okay with that. You know, like I didn't feel any kind of
It's
way,
the
but like
vibe.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
the vibe. But any
Yeah.
other time, it's like they come into like even when I had a ultrasound a few weeks ago. No, I'm not pregnant. It was just the sonogram tech, and he waited until the woman came in. He waited. He's like, okay, she's here now. Da, da, da. But this is the reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although people are still, as we know, things still happen even when
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Especially
you look
under
at all the-
anesthesia.
And you look at even like people that are also really vulnerable, like gymnasts and all these, you know,
Mhm.
people that are trusting these doctors too. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So fuck him.
Yeah. Not literally.
Suicide was not good enough for him.
So
Honestly.
sorry.
But yeah, no, please.
No, go ahead.
Shade.
I was gonna say, so I'm supposed to be starting an NP program in the fall for women's health.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so I've been on a lot of, I don't know, not like forums and stuff, and like different types of like women's health meetings and stuff like that. And there was a topic about having like male gynecologists and stuff. And it seems like a lot of women are more comfortable with male gynecologists because they feel as though they are heard and not dismissed.
Wow, I feel the opposite.
Yeah.
I
So
feel the complete opposite.
That is
yeah,
interesting.
a lot of women are more comfortable because they feel like men take a second to actually listen because it's not something that they experience as well.
Wow.
So it seems
Huh.
like they try to diagnose appropriately before saying, "Oh, well, that's probably because X, Y, and Z."
But they only do that outside of gynecology.
Yes, they do that in everything else. But yeah, so a lot of women were saying how they prefer a male gynecologist.
That's interesting.
That
Often
is interesting.
women compare themselves and say, well, you know, at one point in time, I experienced X, Y, and Z. So yeah. And I mean, I haven't had a male gynecologist as my actual primary care gynecologist, but like if I had to go in for something and I had to see a male, like I have not had a poor experience.
Yeah, same.
I haven't either, but I think since I turned 18, I always specifically requested not to be seen by men.
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
always been honored. The only time it hasn't is like in an emergency.
You know what? One time I was getting since we're here, I was getting a pelvic exam and a pap smear, and
Yes,
I
let's talk about
remember-
pelvic exams.
yeah, no, let's do it. Right, we're here because this happens. And I went, and the doctor, he was like doing things, and he was like, "All right, now we're gonna get the speculum, whatever." And he put like, because they put a condom over it, right, like to protect you, and he put it under hot water first, and then he put the condom on, and I was just like,
That was thoughtful.
he was like, my wife would kill me if I didn't do that. When I told her that I did
Wow.
it, she was like, don't you ever do that again. And so he warmed it up first. And I will never forget that. He was the only one who's ever done
Wow, that was really
Yeah.
thoughtful.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish y'all would do
You
that.
just reminded me of all kinds of other pelvic exam experiences I've had that were not like that. Like when my doctor, her like resident or whatever, a person above her, was trying to sweep my membranes. I don't know if you know what that means, but they put their hand in there, and she's like, "Oh, my fingers are short. Can you do it?" So after she was done fisting me, she asked the next person. She's like, "Your hand, like you have long fingers," and so she's like, "Okay, I'll do it." And so then the second person came and started fisting me, and I was like, "Cool," and then it didn't work.
I was gonna say, but did you finish?
No, it did not work. Garvey did not come that weekend. It was I got double fisted for no reason, and I hope somebody just started watching right then.
Mhm. This will be the part that I like clip out and put on our stories. Yeah, man, pelvic exams are crazy, and like I can't imagine. It's, you know, I think that a lot of the things that happen, like it opens up, and you're just like, it can't be more disturbing than this.
Yeah.
Right, and then
Like-
you meet Peyton.
And then you meet Peyton, Mrs.
What I
Mott, that
love,
fucking bitch.
what I love is that she didn't save the crazy for later.
No,
No, she was
No.
immediately.
she led
I
with it, and she
respect it.
didn't lie. She didn't lie when they asked her questions. She was like, "I lost my husband and my child
She said
within a few days.
She said he was murdered.
Murdered."
Because that's what she thinks. You
Right.
know, she
Self-inflicted
led him basically.
Yeah,
I
hello,
say
Michelle
something?
Foster.
Can I say something and be the nerd that I am? So Solomon being named Solomon, I feel like is significant.
Of
Mhm.
course.
Because King Solomon, there's a story about King Solomon making a judgment between two moms.
Mhm.
Yes, fighting over the
Exactly.
baby.
Yes,
Mhm.
like, and one of the babies dies, and
Mhm. And
I,
both moms claim the baby.
yeah,
And then he's like, all right, let's split it in
Split
half
it in
then.
half.
I
And the
wonder
real
if,
mom,
like,
of course,
this
wants to
movie
save the
was,
baby.
if the script, was somehow formed around that, because
Oh,
it's
I'm
just,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
too many similarities.
So much
Yeah.
symbolism. I never look up the important details about things like that. Like the names of actors and actresses. And shout out to all the ones who were in here because y'all had long careers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah. And she doesn't save the crazy. She leans full in, Gesundheit, from the
Thank
very
you.
beginning. And you just know. I don't know. I just
Like night one. Okay, let's double back a little bit.
okay.
And no, this
Cool.
isn't controversial. All right.
We just talked about pap
I know.
smears and
This is-
getting double
yeah.
fisted. Like it's a little
So
too late.
you meet this lady. She admits she wasn't really sent by the agency.
Red
But
flag one.
red
Yeah.
flag one.
Well, let's
But
talk
she
about the
seems
fact that
nice.
she stood in front of a moving bus.
Just yeah. Well, okay, I get it. You're helping out your neighbor stopping the bus. It happens. It happens. She claims she's there for the interview, but then admits the agency didn't send her. I don't remember how she said she knew about it.
A friend in
The friend.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Her former family that she
Right.
nannied for.
Right. So after that, you don't know this woman from Adam.
Talk about it, Tanya.
Had this nanny been black, there is
I mean, look at what
no
happened with Solomon when he came through the window.
Solomon just came in the yard. He came there to work and they freaked out like, oh my God, there's a guy in the yard. This random white woman off of the street comes into your house and says, yeah, no, somebody told me about this.
Why is
And she was like, she seems so nice. And I was like, bitch.
My note says, "Oh, why is you upstairs?"
All up and through her house. You don't know this lady.
Yeah.
You don't know this lady. No kind of
No.
background check. I mean,
Sure,
they didn't have
do those.
Google.
Yeah,
They
do
didn't have
those so
Google
much,
or
but, like,
anything. But like, really don't worry about references.
she came in your house and didn't even offer to take her shoes on. I know that you left yours on too, but she didn't even ask if she could take her shoes off. She walked straight in. She's like, "Here's the baby crying." Like, where? Like, I don't know. You guys have kids. If some stranger off the street came into your house, let's say she wanted to use your phone or whatever, would you let her hold your baby? Would you let her in the
First of
same room
all-
as your baby?
First
Okay,
of all,
Tanya,
hold on.
you go
First of all,
first.
bitch, wash your hands. Like you come up off the street and you didn't even wash your hands and you're offering to hold my new baby. Like, let's start there. That's another red flag. Why didn't you wash your hands? Like, let's lead with that, Peyton.
I think just
Mhm.
like a stranger coming in, period.
Yeah, why would a stranger just be in my house?
How about
And-
can I see your references?
She was like, "Oh, I'll leave my references," and she's like, "No, don't worry about it. You're cool." Like,
You're
what?
cool because you have like a baby face, and it's a baby face bias because you're pretty.
Right.
Mm.
I
If
also
you're
think that
Hmm.
people were more trusting in those days.
in the early 90s.
I mean, you don't expect a psychopath to just wander off the suburb sidewalk, and want to
well,
come
and
steal
not
for
at
your
all.
if
baby.
you say that again, Sade.
I said not at all. I was gonna tell a story, but you can go first.
Well, I was just gonna say, having watched a lot of episodes from the Investigate Discovery Channel, all of these things happen in these suburbs.
Yeah, a lot of
And
things
it's, and
happen
it's
in
always,
suburbs.
oh, it's a place where you can leave your door unlocked.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not though, because
you
you
guys-
left your door unlocked and everybody got murdered.
Do you think that her going in front of the bus is kind of like the director telling us that, or the character telling us like, I have nothing to lose?
Zero, nothing.
No, I
Maybe.
feel like it was more so I'm doing this for you so you can trust me.
I just like, where did
Yeah.
she come from? Where did she come from? Because I'm not stopping anybody's bus.
I might
Yeah.
yell.
I don't
might
even
yell and
run
wave.
for the train anymore. I missed a train by like 45 seconds, like 2 days
Oh,
ago,
it's
because
the
I was coming
worst.
down the stairs. I was like, I'm not running. I don't
No,
run
I
for the
never
train
run because the
anymore.
last thing I'm gonna do is fall down and break my teeth for something I didn't
Absolutely.
even need to be on time for.
No.
Yeah,
I
I told
get home
someone
when I
today
get
that I don't run. There are things I don't run. I don't run. I don't do CPR. Those are two things I'm not doing.
home.
Okay, nurse. I made Brian jump the turnstile today.
Did you?
Yeah, he was not happy with me. But the train was there. His thing wasn't working. I was like, just jump. He felt so dirty after.
Nothing.
So, about
Nothing.
strangers coming up to you in the suburbs. So when I was younger,
Watch him start watching the stream.
once, I think my mom was going to work and she dropped me off at Tanya's house. And I was standing outside ringing the doorbell. Nobody was answering the door for like 30 minutes. So I went onto the sidewalk and started screaming, "Somebody help me! Somebody help me!" And a woman that was like on her morning walk. I don't think you guys know where Mattapan is, but it's like probably like a 10-minute walk from Tanya's house. So
It's basically I'm in like a super, super lily white suburb, and then Mattapan is the black town next door.
Right. So this lady walks with me from Tanya's house to Mattapan to the payphones. And I know my mother's phone number at this time, like her work number. I call my mother on the payphone and she's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, nobody was answering the door. This lady basically walked me to Mattapan to use the phone.
How old were you?
I don't even know. I was young because
People
like,
trusted each other. Like,
I
yeah.
think at 8, like I know better. So I had to be younger than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then she cusses me out real quick.
Mhm.
The lady speaks to her, and then the lady walks me back to Tanya's house, where I think it was Gary that got up and opened the door. Tanya,
I wonder where we were, or were we
you
sleeping?
guys were inside sleeping.
Oh yeah, that means my mom wasn't home. So my parents were never home.
Yeah,
It was children watching children at my house. It was like, it was chaotic. It was
to
chaotic.
me, like the thought of being kidnapped never even crossed my mind.
So I was always afraid of being kidnapped because Sade, Willoughby Road around the corner.
Yeah,
It's this like really shady street. Like not shady, like sketchy, but like lots of trees.
That's what I was gonna ask. Thank you.
Yeah.
For clarifying.
Sorry. Yeah. It's like it's just basically when you turn the corner, it feels darker. And so my mom used to tell me there's a white guy in a van waiting around the corner and he steals kids. And so I was always afraid to turn to go right up Willoughby Street. But what she didn't realize is she should not have specified that it was a white guy in a van, because that's like everyone in my town. So then I just became afraid of every white guy in town, wondering if he had a van. And for some reason in my mind, he had a blonde mustache. And I have no idea why. Like I completely made that part up myself. So
Sounds
I
like
had
America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, I used to watch that a lot. So
gives me
I watched a lot of stuff I should not have watched.
yeah.
But yeah, no, you stayed safe. So
I did. I had a deep fear of getting kidnapped.
Yeah,
like I really thought people were just out there snatching kids.
I mean, they were though.
They were.
They
absolutely were though. Man, so then her husband comes home and meets this woman, and just like the look on her face, not what's our evil babysitter's name? Peyton's face. I was like, oh, she scored husband. I see that.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't disturbed by what was going on, like I know now.
I was like, oh, he's supposed to be hot. He looked like his beard and his chest hair just connected.
He looks like he reminded me of so many Bollywood heartthrob guys.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
his
yeah,
eyes.
yeah. But I don't know. Like it was really cute to see their happy little family.
Mm-hmm.
And this stuff, but it's just you can tell from the beginning that Peyton is no good and out to get her.
Yeah.
Like the earring.
Okay, here's me again judging mom. You know damn well that earring keeps falling out, and you even admitted that this earring keeps falling out. Why would you keep wearing it? Before you get it fixed? You know that babies put things in their mouths. I was really judging her a lot this time around. Like after having some experience, now I was just judging her. Like, what were you thinking? Like, your earring keeps falling out. Why are you getting up every day and putting it back in?
Did she say that? Because I missed that part.
She does say, oh, he's been getting on me about getting this fixed as she's putting it back in.
But after the fact, not before.
Yeah, no, the first time it fell out, Peyton noticed it. This is when the baby wasn't there. Peyton noticed it. And then she's like, oh, thank you. Like, he's been getting on me about getting this thing fixed, and she puts it back in. And then at dinner, it falls out again, and Peyton pretends that it fell in the bassinet.
Right.
Okay,
yeah, I missed that part. You know why? Because I kept getting distracted by PSA, ladies and gentlemen. That is not how you use an inhaler.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because she's just like.
I
was
feel like
did
it wasn't even her breathing. It was like someone else breathing.
Yeah, it was
When she
probably like the
having
ADR.
her attacks. It's like,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound like
I
you.
think that was audio edited. I mean,
Yeah.
added
Yeah.
later.
I'm looking for
Yeah.
my inhaler because I usually have one right
She
here.
didn't even
But
spray
I
it in
have
her
to take.
mouth.
No, you have to. I learned this because I was just doing that. But you have to exhale all the air in your lungs, and then
Lift up your boobs.
lift up your boobs, and then and let everything fall back down. But yeah, that kept annoying me. I was like, "You're never gonna live
No
this
wonder
way."
you can't breathe.
Can we fast forward real
Of
quick,
course.
and talk about real good friends? What's up, Marlene? Marlene
Hey,
knows what's up.
Marlene knew
knows
what's up immediately. Immediately. And it was so easy for Peyton to bait her into thinking that he was cheating with Marlene, which means she's been insecure about this the whole time.
Yeah.
But that also happens after having children. You end up feeling like a natural insecurity anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if that postpartum stuff played a part in it.
So
Yeah.
Marlene
was
is
so
like
glamorous.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
very
The glamorous,
glamorous.
successful,
Yeah.
Career woman.
Her hair is
no
always like
kids.
immaculate. And
Yeah.
Shout out to Julianne Moore for looking awesome.
Yeah, she
That's
did.
so young.
Too.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's
so young. So young. And I remember I laughed because she was like, you can't put another woman, especially a hot woman in your house, in a position of power. Right.
Because the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world.
Exactly. And she was like, basically, what are we supposed to do? Like baking lasagnas and, and giving blowjobs and working a job, right? And her husband's like, she doesn't cook or she can't cook. And I was like, so she's kidding. We know what she's good at. And I love that. I love that joke about them. But yeah, Marlene was a good friend, and she knew. She knew.
Instantly suspicious.
She got the vibe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have
she uncovered everything,
Yeah.
She's the only who did any research.
Yeah.
You would think maybe, the only non-related to me babysitters I've had, one was a close friend of Nikki's, Joey.
I was like, who
I'd met, I'd met him a bunch of time. Nikki hangs out with him all the time. Even though I'll tell you a story about somebody thinking he was kidnapping my kids. But my other babysitter before Joey was Nora, who was the sister of my doula. And then my doula I knew through mutual friends. So I've never had a complete stranger come and watch my kids. But Joey is a white male. And so he stood out like a sore thumb walking around the neighborhood with black sons, basically. And these two black women saw him and thought he was kidnapping my son. And they confronted him and they started asking my son questions. So my older son, and he's autistic. And so he doesn't necessarily understand what you're asking him sometimes. And so he just assumed that they were friends of Joey's. And when she put her hand out to take his hand to take him away from Joey, he held her hand. So I guess she took it as he wants to get away.
Right.
And Joey almost had to fight for my kids. And it would have gone bad for him because how does that look? If you roll up and you see a white guy snatching a black child out of a black woman's arms, you know what I mean? The optics.
Joey would have fought for the kids.
Yeah,
he would have fought for Donut.
But the optics would have been terrible.
Yeah,
it would have been terrible for him. So I'm glad it didn't come to that. But yeah, no, I've never had a complete stranger. I almost did. I was it wasn't even a complete stranger. It was through a neighbor who found a nanny for me, and then I ended up not hiring her. I ended up not even meeting her. I was just I was afraid somebody's gonna steal my baby. I think about it all the time when I'm in the airport. One time somebody watched my baby on a plane, and I was like, well, at least there's nowhere she can go. We're in the air.
Yeah,
I had to pee really bad, but I can't imagine ignoring the references. Not to victim blame, of course. I'm not victim. I'm victim blaming a little bit.
No, but I feel like now with so much from social media, we are so much more aware of cases and circumstances. So I don't blame you for being vigilant, and you're hyper vigilant because of your mom putting that sort of fear. I probably obviously well intentioned when you were little, but now you're sort of
strong fear of kidnappings.
Yeah. And you watch a lot of true crime.
I watch so much true crime. So much. So much.
Yeah. I think about I never had a nanny. And I had babysitters, but they were like, always friends of the family, family friends' kids or neighbors' kids and that. So I didn't have to think about that. But just the idea, like I joke, I'm like, oh, I'd have a nanny, but like I don't want the nanny to live in my house. She better like go home and come back.
Because like my baby's not gonna like you better than me. We're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like
sometimes.
And the other thing is like she's building this greenhouse and doing these things but I'm like, my mom had 3 kids and she had a job and she was like, we were doing all these things. Like, you need a nanny to build a greenhouse, just put the baby in the basket on the porch.
Yeah.
Right.
What are we doing here?
Right.
Yeah.
Because like it wasn't even like she was going to work. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get you want time for yourself. So like
leave the baby in the basket on the porch.
But yeah. Like it's a baby. Ooh, is that you, Sade?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, like so I was a stay-at-home mom for a while, and I brought my baby everywhere, including when I went out for drinks. Because I was like, he's a baby, he's sleeping. Like he's just in a stroller, and you just throw the little cover on it, and you forget he's even there.
Well,
he's there until he wakes up.
No one's gonna watch your kid better than you.
Yeah.
Even the dad. And my husband is a great person, but there's like the mom, like the instinct, like it, like so I don't blame you.
Yeah. I just like I felt really bad. What is mom's name?
Claire.
I felt really wasn't Claire the name of the mom in Unfaithful? What was her name?
Was it Claire?
Yeah.
It was Claire.
Didn't the
right?
house look familiar? Like the inside of the house looked a little familiar. I was gonna look that up. I know it's not the same house, but it did look familiar to me.
Yeah, it's similar vibe, like happy. Oh, Connie, not Claire.
Oh, right, Connie.
In these mom C names. But I felt really bad for her because she's doing her best. Like she's being a good mom. How cute was their daughter? Oh,
adorable.
It's like so cute. And she didn't have that like weird child actor thing. I take that back. But like, you know how sometimes kids are like creepy actors and like you can tell that they're trying really hard to act and do a good job. Like this kid did a good job.
Matilda,
very sweet, believable, all those things.
Yeah.
But they had a really happy family, and the mom is, she's trying to keep it together and get her life back. And
that part I can totally understand.
Just to see her being gaslit by this crazy bitch from the very beginning.
Yeah.
From the very beginning. And it was just so easy. And it's kind of like Sade said, like when you're a new mom, the insecurities are kind of built in, And again, I was a stay-at-home mom. And like I feel like for me that elevated the insecurities because I went from being like super career girl, social, and all these things, and to like
tap dancing when you were pregnant.
I was taking tap dancing classes. That's not even a joke.
I was had a full social life.
I had a very full social life, and I worked all the time, and then all of a sudden I was just like home alone with the baby, and it gets lonely. So I could see how she wanted to befriend Peyton.
Yeah.
And now you have this woman living here, so it's like almost like your fun roommate who's helping you with the baby. So I think that's why it was so easy for her to start confiding in her and treating her like a best friend, like very quickly.
What? AK.
Hey, AK.
Not only that, she was like giving her a heads up with stuff, like even with the whole Solomon thing. It's like she was being her friend. I'm looking out for you.
Like
so let me tell you what's happening. Yeah. Let me tell you what's happening with him. And it sucks because he couldn't really articulate himself well enough to say.
And he knew immediately.
Yeah.
Solomon sense he smelled the crazy coming off of her.
Like, who is this bitch?
He smelled the crazy coming off of her before he saw her breastfeeding the baby. Like he just knew.
Yeah.
Poor Solomon.
Well, he built the fence, and he asked him like, "Do you want to keep people in or keep
that part?"
Then immediately I was like, Solomon, you're the protector. You're the spirit animal of his home. You're gonna protect this family.
Yeah. And he did, even after a wrongful accusation.
I love that they let
crazy. Huh?
I love that they let him keep the bike.
Oh yeah, that was kind of sweet.
I was
Although,
like,
I mean, if I suspected someone had hurt my child in that way, I wouldn't even let him keep his legs.
no, of
So,
course not. Of course
you
not.
know,
But
but
You
one of
know,
us,
Tanya.
listen,
yeah,
practically fantasize about it. I'm like, I dare
choosing
somebody.
violence. I like there are movies that we watch and that we talk about on here that make me just like go, oh man, I would really fuck somebody up. But this is one is like at the top. Like I'm trying to think of other ones that we've done. This is top 3 for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely one where it's like, I think about somebody messing with my kids and I'm like, I will kill you. I have never, ever,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, fantasized so much about
Mhm.
hurting people until I had kids.
Yeah.
And I will murder everyone on this block if
It's
what
the mama
comes
bear.
down to my kids. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I wouldn't
I'll
even do
kill
that. The
everyone.
way
And I
that
don't
I
have
would
and go
build
ahead.
like an encasement in my basement and every day like rip off a fingernail and then cut a piece of your tongue
You know
and
what?
then
Friday, I fuck with you.
make you blind. Like I would literally harbor someone
I
in
would,
my basement and
I
torture
would
them.
hire Sade to help me so
There you
that
go.
I could kill them and she could resuscitate them just so I could keep killing them over and over and
That's the
over.
only time
See,
I'm doing
this is our
CPR.
coven because Tanya knows this, and I've said this before that my dream job, my villain dream job, if I had to go pure evil, would be creative director of torture. That's what I would want to do. Like I have so many ideas, y'all. Like it just I don't have kids, but I remember one night I was sitting on the porch with my nephew and there was a fox like in the back screaming. And I just I just started thinking, I was like, oh my God, what if what if that was a person and they came running up? What would I do? What would I do? And I was like, I'm throwing him in the house. Like, I will die to save this kid.
Yeah.
Like whatever it takes is like he's going to be safe. And this
Yeah.
like they're not getting in the house to get him. And so I felt that in a really real way. And honestly, I feel like falling into the fence, as symbolic as it was too good for her. Just like with the husband.
Impaled. I was like, yes.
Like I wanted her to like be screaming from the post for a while, you know, but
I kind of wanted Solomon to kill her.
I did
but-
too.
Oh yeah, that would have been
But
nice.
I'm also glad because, you know.
Well,
He
yeah, I
sort of-
guess he kind of did. Yeah, he built the fence.
Yeah, this movie made me really angry. Like Unfaithful, it was like so sexy, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't be rooting for infidelity. I shouldn't. But like, it's done very well. It was done very well because he was French. But this movie made me so angry. I was like, no.
You know what part tore my guts into shreds?
The fisting?
When she not literally tore my guts into shreds. I mean figuratively this time. When she tore up his proposal. Because he did that on a typewriter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
she typed it with him.
A new copy. Like it's not saved on a disc.
It's at Google Drive.
Yeah.
My stomach hurt when I watched her tear that thing up. We have not talked Fatal Attraction, but I will absolutely love to talk about Fatal Attraction and why he wasn't a victim and he deserved everything he got. So, you know, if you want to do that for 30 Tuesday, I'm totally in.
Yes.
That might be a roast and toast. We can just do a you ain't shit toast. You ain't shit roast. Yeah, no, dude, I remember like I used to write papers on a word processor for school. Same. And like you just stay up all night and be like, go back and be like, oh my God, what if you're out of whiteout? You can't like tape things together. So frustrating.
I remember when my mom got a more updated word processor where you type out the sentence and it doesn't immediately type. It shows up on a little screen and then you hit enter and then it types. So you could so you could see and fix your mistakes before it actually put ink on paper. I thought that was like the height of technology.
No, I don't know what I had.
Look at us now.
Look at us now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I do want to say that for this movie being made in 1992, I think it was done fairly well.
Yeah.
It holds up.
Yeah, I see a lot of movies now, and I'm like, okay, this was dumb. Like,
the story, it's the classic. It's timeless. It still holds up. It still evokes like all the same fears that you would have had you been a mother back then. I mean, the other thing that stands out to me is like Marlene had a cell phone. She had a phone in her car. She had a car phone, right? But like all these other places, like this could have been stopped if someone had a cell phone. You know.
they did a reboot or a remake called The Hand That Robs the Cradle, but I didn't watch it because it sounded stupid. Because the
I
hand
saw
that
it.
robs the cradle.
I almost rented it by accident, and I was like, whoa, no, this is not what I want. I don't know who this woman is. What is this?
Yeah, I was
Um,
like, the hell is this?
But I think the other thing I really like about this movie, and it's something that I enjoy about movies from this era in general, is that, well, the pacing is kind of cool, but like the end comes really quickly, but the end is satisfying. Like if
Yeah.
she had got taken off to jail, I would have been pissed. You know,
Mhm.
Oh,
like
yeah.
if like I needed the family to be the one that dispensed like the justice to come at their hands. Like I don't want her to get accidentally shot by the cops. I don't want like her to get hit by a bus on the way home. Like I needed the justice to come from the family. And that's
Yeah.
something I actually really miss about movies.
Well, and you like the husband shot himself, so it was like that missed opportunity to
Exactly.
you
You're
know,
like, you're like, oh, do you feel
Mhm.
bad about the things that you did and you can't
Right.
handle it? Oh
Right.
no.
Coward. And then like the family taking their matters into their own hands, especially Claire, who was
Vigilante justice. Vigilante justice.
oh my gosh, I was like, finally, I love that she got impaled at the end. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
the impaling was wonderful.
Solomon.
I wish she didn't die instantly.
Me too. I know, okay, this movie made me feel stabby.
Mhm.
It really did.
We did talk about when we first saw it. Mina saw it. Oops, wrong one. Mina saw it recently. Nikki, less recently than Mina, and Sade and I as very young children.
Yeah.
Yes, with no parental guidance.
None. Absolute madness.
So even though Peyton is trash, how do you feel about her taking matters into her own hands to like correct the bullying that's going on?
Oh, okay. I was
Loved
a
it.
bullied child.
Loved it.
I was a bullied child. It was like
Mhm.
I didn't really speak the English very well, and it was that whole pressure of like you're an immigrant and you have to like get straight A's to prove that you're worth it. So like kids picked on me as well because I was an honor roll student, but like the pressure of being an honor roll, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just awful. And I was in a way, I was like, if I could go back in like a little spirit form and like try to like coach myself during those, like whisper in my ear, like, it's fine, she's gonna end up, XYZ, which they did.
Wait, is that what you would have done? Because if I got bullied too, and if I could send myself back, I would have been like, like the Matrix. I know kung fu. Like that's what I would do. I'm like, I want to go back and I want to kick their asses.
Yeah. No, it's like I've gone through a lot of therapy, but oh my God, it's just I understand why she did it. And it's that like just part of me is like I feel like when it came to the little girl, it was more of her I don't think she did it out of the goodness of her heart. I think she did it because she was trying to win the girl over to her side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't even think of it like that.
Yeah. She's grooming her,
Just manipulating her 100%. Because when I first saw this scene and I was like, yeah, she's gonna, yell at that kid. And then when I saw her like
abuse him,
torture, I was like, wait a minute.
So I always tell people, I don't think people should hit kids, and I don't hit kids, but I like to specify that I don't hit my kids.
Hide your kids, ladies and gentlemen.
So I was kind of with Peyton there.
I mean, honestly,
I feel like this is a mom fantasy, right?
It is a mom fantasy.
To be able to show
My
up to the
sister's
school
going
and
through this.
whoop his ass.
I mean, because we all want to do that when kids get bullied, but it's just, and it was funny when I was watching it. Tanya talks about all of this all the time, and so does my sister Jackie, that you can't go to the school anymore.
Yeah,
like this is impossible now. You can't just like go on the playground and like hem some little asshole up and be like, "Don't fuck."
You can, but you can go to the parent's house, and that's what my problem was.
Knock knock. Can Billy come outside and play?
Come outside. We not gonna jump you.
My son wasn't bullied or anything, but I mean, we live in a suburban town, so kids used to say outlandish stuff, and he would not want to tell me because he knows that I would confront. I'm very confrontational. I love it. I am not scared of people. So
I love that for you.
Thank you. I got it from
kids
you
together. Aww.
Yeah.
But I really I will go to their house and I will happily knock on their door and ask them if their kid or them have a problem. No problem.
Yeah.
Because get your kids together.
Yeah.
And I always had to tell my son, like, people are only going to say things to you because you say nothing. So you need to make sure you're advocating for yourself. It's really
Yeah.
important.
Mhm.
Even teachers, and I think teachers were his biggest issue. They would think that they could speak to
Mhm.
him however they would want to speak to him.
I
And
think
he would
teachers were
always,
definitely my biggest bullies.
yeah, he would always text me in school like, "Mom, my teacher said X, Y, and Z. What should I say to her?" And I would let him read her. And if she has a problem, she can call me. But
Love
people
that.
have to pull their kids in and tell them that these things aren't okay, because there are kids losing their lives over kids
Mhm.
saying mean things and not being kind.
And
I
kids now, like when we were kids, Sade, like we go home and we don't have to see those kids all weekend long. Now
Right.
these kids are harassed online
Yeah.
and they're getting texted, and you know what I mean? Like it
Mhm.
doesn't stop. It's 24/7 for them now.
And I feel like a lot of parents end up being in denial about what their children are actually doing, or they're also
Mhm.
scared of their kids.
And that's why their mamas need to get beat up and their daddies need to
Exactly.
get beat up.
Exactly. Yep.
I saw a video. Was it a video? Oh no, it might have been one of the Am I the Asshole things where a mom, her kid was getting bullied and it wasn't Am I the Asshole, because her kid was getting bullied. She talked to the other mom. The other mom brushed it off. And then they were at an event and the kid bothered her kid again. And so she beat up the other mom.
I read that one. She punched her in the face.
She punched the other mom in the face
Yeah.
in front of everybody and was
Yep.
like, "You keep messing with my kid, I'm going to keep beating your mom's ass."
Yep.
Hey, Jackie.
Hey, Jackie. And I loved it.
Yes. Every second.
I loved it. Yes. Every time you mess with my kid, your mom is going to get beat up.
Yep.
Mm.
I love
It's
it.
like I was talking
brought me
to
joy.
Tanya's husband last week about bullying and like what to do if you're getting bullied and this
Mhm.
kind of stuff. And he told me this story about how some kid called him the N-word in class and he basically beat him up in class. And then the teacher brought him in to they brought him into the office or whatever. And oh my God, Peter Griffin.
Hey, Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin, what's up? And he told him, listen, he's basically told him and told the teachers and the kid that whenever I see you, it's going to be a problem. Like anytime I see you, it's going to be a problem. And I was like, yeah,
I had a
love that
bully
energy.
in 5th grade and she used to hit me.
Oh my God.
And I was afraid to fight her back. She was new to school and she was so mean. And my brother knew her sister, my older brother. And so my older brother talked to her sister, but it didn't stop. And that summer between 5th and 6th grade, my brother was like, "Listen, beat her up." And Sade, you know, Twigsy, he beat our asses all the time.
Yes, he did.
We were fighting for our lives, and he's 5 years older than me and 10 years older than Sade. Like we were fighting for our lives every single day. This is when WWF was popping, like
with the chairs.
Yes. We were being body slammed in the kitchen.
Yes. And so when we started 6th grade, she started in on me again. And it's funny because she used to tease me about my hair because I had natural hair and all the other girls had like straight, you know, relaxers. And now I'm like, my hair is fucking fabulous. Like, I can't believe I let a bitch with no edges make fun of my hair. But one day, so my brother was like, "Listen, just beat her up." And one day I saw her and she didn't even say anything to me. She wasn't even bothering me, but it was just like in my head, him saying, "Just beat her up, just beat her up." And I walked up to her and I punched her dead in her mouth. And she was so stunned. She didn't hit me back. We didn't fight. I actually don't even remember what happened after that. But then like in a week, we were friends.
Who was this? Do I know who this was?
You might. I don't want to say her name, but you might.
Okay. Head to the private chat.
Yeah. Actually, I will put it in the private chat.
Peter Griffin, you were a bully. I'm glad you made it up to them later with that 2-for-1 special. Yeah, I had a bully. They used to make fun of me because of my hair. Like I had like product in it, and so it looked like I had flakes on my stuff. And it was just, she was miserable. Miserable. And I don't remember.
I put it in the private chat,
but Jackie told me that she was getting bullied and I handled something for her one time. These girls, and I was like, I don't remember that. She's like, yeah, you did it. And I was like, oh, well, you're welcome. But it's hard. It's hard for a kid. It's hard
Or
for
you
a
can
kid
always
to get bullied,
you
but also I think that, adults get bullied too.
I was
And
gonna
that's what's not
say,
fun.
AK, I used to get the thick box braids because Patra was popping, and this was before Poetic Justice. And I used to
Mm,
get bullied for my big thick braids. And then Poetic Justice came out, and Janet Jackson had the same big thick braids up in the ponytail that Patra always had, and
that
suddenly
was
it
my
was
whole
cool.
style.
And I was like,
Yeah.
fuck y'all,
It's
because
like,
all of
yeah,
you were making fun of me when I had these same thick ass braids.
that's so funny because, like, I remember the Patrick braids and the Janet braids, and that was my hair for like years.
I had my hair like that all the time.
Like, if you look at a picture for me from high school, I probably have my hair up in that high pony.
Love it.
I was gonna say you can always turn to witchcraft.
Oh, I fully believe in using blood
Nina?
magic against people.
Absolutely. Like, I talked to Tanya, I say this to her like several times a month about when you said that about like whisper a curse or something, like, you're still my hero.
I'm
It's like
way
the
too
best thing I've
scared.
ever heard of.
What'd you say, Sade?
I'm way too scared of stuff like that. Like,
Blood magic?
even
Well,
like
I
the
do
little,
believe things come back on you.
yeah,
you
even
gotta
the
be
little
careful.
tales, like the Candyman stuff, terrified.
No, we don't talk about glucose.
Those-
I
Guardian.
only said it
We
one
post
time.
that.
I only said it once. But even like stuff like that. And you know what? Tanya used to love
God,
stuff
hurts
like
so
that when we
bad.
were kids.
Yeah.
Her and her sister, they knew I didn't like what is it?
Bone Thugs and Harmony. The See You
the
at the
Crossroads?
Crossroads video.
And they used to force me to watch the scene where
We
his
would
eyes
mute
went
it.
white.
When they went black, we would mute
Oh,
it.
black.
And be like, Sade, come here, and then unmuted.
I was traumatized by that. And like they used to
She
do
would
such
really
torture
cry.
stuff.
It was
Like
so sad. I'm sorry,
it was
Sade.
really terrible. They used to like tickle me until I peed myself. It was called tickle torture. They were terrible people. Tanya used to throw shoes at me to get out of her room. She is
Oh man, you're really
This is not what
revising my
Oh,
opinion
this is
of you
not
as
what
a
this
child.
podcast is about, all right?
Wow.
You're here
I'm
to
just
talk
saying. So all that dark magic is in her because she used to do something.
Oh, I mean, but I love that as an idea of like not actually doing it, but threatening them with the possibility.
People get really scared when you start talking about curses. Really scared.
Especially if you were to just say it. I was telling my sister, I was like, you don't have to yell. You can just say it really quietly, but like you mean it.
That's
like,
the scary part, though. When you whisper something like that, it's 10 times more scary than it is if you yell it.
Man, so
you
crazy.
You could find ways to word your threats that you can't really like prove it's a threat.
I do that all the time.
Just saying. That's not legal advice. Just saying.
lie, deny.
It's not legal advice. Do not make terroristic threats. But do
spiritual ones though.
On the news a few years ago, in like High Park, there was a story about how a woman found a goat head on her car. Yeah,
that's that type of shit I like.
Yeah, and there was something else, maybe blood or something also was on her car.
I love
that. A few years ago, and I'm just like, no, thank you.
Yeah, like I would absolutely, if it came to it, if it got bad enough, I'll kill a chicken and leave it on the front of your house.
I thought you were gonna say sacrifice a goat. I was ready for it. Do you know?
No, goats make too much noise.
Go to the store.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a place.
I can grab you from down the street.
I was gonna say there's chickens in my neighborhood where you can go buy live chickens. Like I'll go kill a chicken in your front yard. Just so you know I'm crazy.
They think
Sade and I, we're used to being in Jamaica and farms. Like we're used to seeing these animals die. No, it's really not a big deal for us. Seriously. But goats make a lot of noise. You don't want to do a goat.
There's one on my block. I don't know who has a goat, and I don't know if it's coming from the place
on your block.
Tanya, every day in the morning there's I'm like,
I used to tell Sade that goats were her brothers and sisters.
And that's why I want one. I want like a whole pack.
They're so goats. Cute. My friend told me that she used you know how I've been to puppy yoga where they have like the puppies you do yoga.
Oh yeah.
She's been to goat yoga.
Oh.
And she's like, you think it's cute till they jump on your back. Because they're so heavy.
They are cute though.
Yes, Jackie, a goat. Oh wait, hold on.
Yep, mine too. My grandma used to have us. Shadi, do you remember we used to have to scrape the cow skin?
Yes.
So our uncle had cows, and when they would butcher them, so Jamaicans make cow skin soup. So they would bring the skin to the house, and we would all sit there scraping the hair off of the skin
Yep.
until all the hair, they would like burn it first. And then after it was burned, then you have to scrape all the hair off. And then
How do
after
they
the hair
burn
was,
it?
they just light it on fire.
The whole cow?
Like the outs, no, like after it's dead, like after they skin it, they
Mhm.
burn all the hair on the skin so that you can scrape it off easier.
Right.
But like scraping was left to the kids. So like we were like little children scraping
Yes.
cow hides, and then we would have to cut it into squares and lay it out on this big zinc sheet to
Mhm.
dry. No wonder I don't
Yes.
eat meat.
It's like not like menudo, but it's it's like that's menudo's tripe soup. So
So
Mm,
we do
right,
that too,
yeah.
mhm.
but we do it with goat tripe and we call it manishwata. And they put the head and the feet in it. Fun story. When Brian and I were
Mhm.
first getting married, we were going to get married at his parents' house and make it just like a family cooking kind of affair. And then Sade Auntie Grace was like, well, does his mother know to burn the head and the feet after she kills the goat? And I was like, what? I was like, they don't do that in America. And she was like, they're in the South. I was like, it doesn't work that way. I was like, never mind. We're not getting married at your house. Never mind.
That is so funny. Yeah. One time when we were in Jamaica, the kids, so it was like our whole entire family. And I think we were doing something. And they, hung up a goat. They like hung it by all fours.
Mhm.
And
cut
they
its
take
throat
a
like the
knife and
halal
then
way.
gut it down the middle, and all the stuff falls out. And
Mhm.
all the kids were like, oh, we're going to go watch them kill the goat. We're going to go watch them. Come dinner time, when the goat was in front of them, nobody wanted to eat.
Nobody.
They were all like, we can hear the goat going mad.
There was one year, Sade, I named it Peter,
Oh my
and Denise wouldn't eat it.
That is so
She
funny.
would not eat
Oh, I
it. She
hate
was like,
tripe.
no, I never messed with tripe. I watched
I
them
ate it a
clean
couple times
before.
in soup, and I was just like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't
I
like how
watched-
it looks. It's making me
It's-
nervous, and I
it's
just
an
could never do
acquired
it again.
it's an acquired taste, and not everyone does it well. So
Yeah,
it's like
that's
I
true.
watched
if
it
you
go
have it
from
if you have it a one bad one, you'll never have it again.
I
I
think
watched
that's
it
my
go
problem.
from living pig to soup.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
sat and watched, actually, Sade, it was Miss Pinky, use a stick to turn it completely inside out to get all of the shit out. So before they boiled it. And I was like, I'm not eating that.
Yeah,
Like I just
squishy and-
watched you pull the doo-doo out of it.
squishy and slimy. Ugh.
So I've
Yeah.
never tried it before.
No, you
Chicken
wanna-
feet,
you wanna-
I'll do. I do it for soup.
I mean,
One time
putting
my
things
grandma
in the
made
soup
soup.
is
It was
different.
like she would make soup with like the heads and the feet. So like you just like scooping and there's a whole face looking at you. I can see how that's disconcerting. For us, it was like whatever. I'm not gonna eat it, but it seasons
Oh
the soup, you
man,
know.
I was just about to say something, and then I realized it would have been a spoiler. So never mind. It's for a book that you haven't read yet. Mina, I was telling you, Victorian Psycho. You
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I
have to
haven't read that
Yeah.
yet.
You guys have.
I
to
haven't read
this
it. It's on my TBR.
book. Oh man, so good.
But it's yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else we want to say about this movie besides she got what she had coming to her, and it should have been so much worse?
I love her as a villain.
Oh, me
Yeah.
too.
I do. I loved her as a villain.
I love people when you just like I hated her through and through. I hate her.
But do you
And you
think-
know what's interesting to me is that like people are so, oh my god, about breastfeeding, but they sure showed those titties in this movie.
They sure did.
You know, I felt for Peyton because she did go through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you all in one blow, your husband kills himself, you find out he's a pervert, and you lose your baby.
And
And-
all the
and your-
money's locked up. All
So,
your
so yeah,
assets are
you find
frozen.
out your husband's a pervert, he kills himself, you lose your baby, you lose your ability to have children, and you also lose all of your assets.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is
So
a
it's a lot.
lot. So
Oh,
I
can I
wouldn't
ask you-
necessarily stalk the new family
Right.
to like steal their baby.
I mean, she
but I
planned
can-
it. That was 6 months later.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
She
Like
planned
she planned that revenge.
But I have
But-
a question. Sorry,
Yes.
go ahead. Finish.
No, I was
have
just gonna
a
say, but
question.
I understand that Peyton was in pain
Mhm.
and she broke, she snapped. You know, there's
Yeah.
that moment where she's like, I'll just take my baby and leave. Like at that point, you realize she's crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's fully lost her mind.
Yeah, you come back from the hospital, and it's her nursery in your house.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
just take
but-
myself out.
my question about this
Girl.
movie my, my question about this movie is like when she's in the hospital and it's like on the news what's happened to her, like the whole story. And they show Claire. Like, is that, can you do that?
They don't do
No.
that anymore.
So okay, that's
They used to do
like
that.
this, because
Yeah.
I was like, this
Yeah.
feels like it's not legal.
No,
Mhm.
no,
Right.
it is legal. It is legal. They used to do it all the time. Now it's not illegal. It's just journalists have kind of
Sensitivity.
agreed. Yeah, journalists have just
Yeah.
kind of agreed as a matter of habit to no longer include victim names
Yeah,
and faces and all that.
like,
But
they
it's
put
not
her ass
illegal.
on blast.
They put her picture. They practically put her fucking address.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
You
like,
know,
and
but
it's
yeah,
only her, like not the other
but it's
4
not
women who came
illegal. It's
forward.
not illegal. It's really just an
Mm,
ethics. It's an ethics consideration. So,
it should be
Yeah.
illegal.
I mean, I don't know.
Like,
Lots of
broadcast the
things should be illegal.
perpetrator, protect the
Mhm.
victim.
Right. But no, it's not illegal. They
Well,
absolutely
it's like
could still do
that.
it.
It's like that case that's going on right now in France with the husband who was drugging his wife so that
Oh,
men could
right.
come.
Yeah,
And the wife who, in trial, she was like, I want all of France, I want all of the world to know that this is happening to me because they should be shamed. Like, I'm
Right.
not gonna hide and be a Jane Doe. Like, this
Right.
is my
Yeah.
name. And that was so powerful. So yeah, I
Mhm.
agree with what Nikki said, that it should be broadcasted. It's like, you do the crime,
Yeah, the person's face.
let's
Yeah,
go.
absolutely.
Yeah, the person
Yeah.
who did it absolutely
Just like,
put their
ugh.
face everywhere.
Terrible, terrible. Yeah, I wanted. Yeah, no, I, as a villain, I loved her, and I love that the husband stood by his wife too.
Yes.
You're
that
the, I don't,
moment.
there's only one woman for me, and she's like, that's all you need. It's like, bitch, she's not talking about you.
You
Mhm.
know,
Crazy, crazy woman.
But
he
you know
tried it
what?
with the rainy, sensual scene, but no.
Being the 90s, I feel like a lot of actors at this time, a lot of movies, it was kind of like, oh, maybe I will cheat. Maybe I will give in to this temptation. And he
Yeah.
didn't. He
Mhm.
Yeah.
didn't.
Because you're not, and she wasn't at home. His wife is in the hospital, and they'd be like, "Well, nobody will ever find out." But no, he didn't. He
Yeah.
stood fast.
Again, maybe with my nerd like imagery and symbolism, his name is Michael, which is one of the archangels, and his house is
Mm.
like a temple church. I'm like, he's a
He's
good
a
man.
good guy.
Yeah.
Guy.
Was there ever a moment you thought he might when she was
Mm.
pushing up on him?
No, because if it's
No.
just so much imagery, I'm like, no, he's like, you got King Solomon here, like,
You know why I didn't think so? Because of the way that he was looking at her.
Mm.
It was like, I can't believe that this is what you're saying. But I think he also, I won't say that he wasn't attracted to her. He
Mhm.
understood that she was an attractive person, but he also understood danger.
Mhm.
Because Marlene, like, he and Marlene used to have a thing, but he was able to like keep. He was like, oh no, she's obviously an attractive woman, but nothing here.
Wasn't that the best surprise party? We didn't even talk about the actual
Oh
party.
no, we didn't. Let's talk about that real quick, because
Yeah, it's about time to wrap up. But that surprise party, man. Like, what did everyone just go home? Like, did they eat the cake? Ah.
Green Asha, that's hilarious. Did they just eat? I mean, I don't know.
Like,
I
does
don't
everyone
know.
like? What do you do? Like, do you just go home?
yeah.
I don't know. Would you go
I'm
home? Would you stay and be nosy?
I would stay.
Would you?
I
stay
will.
and
You
be
know
nosy?
what? No. I take that back. I would take home I would want cake. The
Yeah.
cake looked delicious. I'd be like, I know you guys. Maybe we should just. You know what? Let's everybody
gonna
go
take
home.
the
I would
2
start
liter.
cutting it.
The 2 liter. Shade, would you stay at the party after hearing that? Where she's like, "You're fucking Marlene," and then it's like, "Oh no, actually, they were planning a surprise party."
No, I might, just because I'm nosy.
Yeah, like I feel like I'd be cringing a lot. Like I'd be really uncomfortable, but I would also want to know how this plays
Yep.
out.
Ooh,
Yeah.
this wine is so good.
Yep.
I'd be like, "Oh, I need to use the bathroom, and
Yep.
Shade has to help me."
Yep. I'll act like I'm leaving and
Where
stand
are
in
my
the doorway.
Oh, pat in my pockets, like, what did I do with my phone?
I'll stand in front porch in case
Put them
they
under
need
the
me
couch.
Yeah,
by the window.
like, oh, I'm just sitting in my car getting it warm.
That's
Mhm.
a good question. I believe our next 30 Tuesday topic is for International Horse Day, right?
June, yes,
June.
International Horse Day,
June. Which day in June did we decide to do that? Hold on.
3rd.
June 3rd.
Oh,
International.
we might have to push that back.
Okay.
We're gonna do something for International Horse Day. It might
Under
be
the
under
cherry
the
moon.
yeah, I think it's gonna be under the cherry moon.
Under the cherry moon.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about whores.
Tanya's specialty.
No, I've never been paid, unfortunately.
Oh my God, it's Prince.
It is Prince.
Yes.
It is Prince. And our good friend is going to be a guest. She's been
Yes,
asking for us to
Cinnamon
do
Love.
this forever.
The legendary Cinnamon Love will
Yes.
join
Award winner.
us.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
amazing.
award-winning legendary Cinnamon Love will join us. So I
Yes,
just need to
Jackie, there
remind
is
her.
International Horse Day is June 2nd. Yes. And yes, AK.
Oh yeah, that's why we picked June 3rd. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
we do. All right, I'll get in touch with Cinnamon.
Yeah.
We'll make that work.
So on International Horse Day, do you like get a freebie for getting arrested for being?
Get out of jail
no.
free card?
Unfortunately, no. Hold on, I'll tell you the
It's a
background
movie.
right now.
It's a movie. It's a 30 Tuesday, so a movie. Books only happen on Sundays in these parts.
International Horse Day.
By the way, I'm going to send you guys my book.
Is it ready?
Oh, yay.
Almost.
In case you guys are new and you haven't met Mina, who's here for her third stream with us, she is the author. Oh God. And just like my favorite villains and the new cover art. Like talk about it.
The dedication is you wanted a villain, be careful what you wish for.
And all her villains are sexy. Like all the her whole
like it.
Everyone's spicy. We want to bang all the gods.
And they're all like older, not older adults because it makes it sound like they're older, but like they are in their late 20s, 30s.
Exactly.
40s. I mean,
relatable.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, International Horse Day, also known as International Sex Workers Day, it commemorates June 2nd, 1975, where more than 100 sex workers occupied this French church that I'm not going to try to pronounce because French is the most ridiculous language
Oh, you should have
I've
sent it
ever
to
heard.
me. I would have pronounced it.
Église Saint-Nazaire. I don't know how to fucking say this shit.
They're never gonna pay for us to come to France and do this.
Never.
Damn it.
French makes no sense to me. But anyway, they occupied this church to bring attention to inhumane working conditions, and it's been celebrated since 1976. In German, it is known as Horentag, which is also a strange language to me.
But see, you knew exactly what they were talking about.
Yeah, I knew exactly. At least, like, I always say German's fake, but I get it.
English is a Germanic language.
Yeah. In Spanish, it is Día Internacional de la Trabajadora Sexual, the International Day of the Sex Worker. And there's like a whole Wikipedia page for it. But yes, it's a real thing. It's been commemorated since 1976.
Yeah.
So yeah, get into it.
Yeah, and then ask for money.
Yeah.
Hey, AK, you asked AKS how she could get a copy of one of my Almost Ready books. So you can sign up for an ARC, which is like a free copy. In exchange for like a review if you still feel inclined.
She will totally review it.
Totally will do it.
So yeah, just head over to my
Did you drop the title?
My Instagram account. Yeah, An Era of Darkness and Ruin.
Era of Darkness and Ruin.
So it's on my Instagram, and there's a link there to sign up.
Let me get you
very soon. Not right now, but there will be a link like in the next few days. So yeah.
Hold on, let me put your Instagram in here.
So the next thing we have coming up is Wine on an Empty Stomach this Sunday. We're doing The Dance of Rotten Sticks by JC Van Zandt. And this is also a horror thriller. Good. It's like a horror thriller novel. It's a quick read. Again, halfway to Halloween.
Yeah.
And it is his debut horror novel.
Yeah.
So he'll be joining us and we'll be talking about it.
See, Mina, you started it all.
Yeah, you see what you did?
We have another author coming after that.
Excited.
Yes.
But, JC
Josh Mendoza will be the author after JC.
Shadow of the Eternal Watcher. But JC was super excited. Like we talked to him, we had a lovely conversation. And the book is scary. The book is scary. It had moments that I was like,
oh. So that's this Sunday.
This is really, really good.
Oh, read it. Read it.
Yeah.
It was like a pretty fast read too. So join us on Sunday. You know,
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
post
talk
the
about
link for
a lot of
Sunday.
different things. You know, we'll talk about horror, we'll talk about addiction, we'll talk about a little bit of everything.
Creepy ass children.
Creepy ass children.
And the
That's what-
cover is like, yeah, it's so nice. It gives me that sort of like mystery 90s or like Y2K type of books.
It absolutely
Yeah.
gives like Stephen King,
hmm
like fireplace mystery,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I mean, I started to read it on my Kindle, and I think it was like maybe the first day that I'd opened it. Like something happened within the first chapter, and I was like, "Oh, this is not a read at bedtime book," and I put it back.
No, it's not. And you know, I think people use airport read kind of like derogatory, but like this is totally I don't see it that way, but this is totally like a book you would pick up because you forgot your book and you were like, "Oh, this looks cool," and you read it at the airport and then you're locked in and
Yeah.
scrambling to get on your flight because you got
have an
so
8-hour
locked in.
you have an 8-hour flight, and now you can't sleep on any of it.
Can
Yeah.
you guys do the movie what is it called? Red Eye? One of these top 30
Have I seen Red Eye? I
Yes.
think I have. I think I saw it a long time ago.
It's like it's a thriller about
It's like
like
people on the
Oh, that
plane
guy,
committing crimes.
Cillian Murphy.
mhm.
Huh.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since it came out actually.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
It's
I'm into it.
definitely a thriller for yeah.
I'm into it.
Our
I'm
list
into
is
it.
so long. I love
He's
it.
hot, so
Red Eye. What was the other one we were talking about? Fatal Attraction. Yeah, Fatal. There it is.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
like
I
10,
Fatal-
10 spaces up.
Fatal Attraction. I'm just gonna warn you. I'm going full victim blaming on that one. So it is what it is. Full on victim blaming for Fatal Attraction.
Oh,
All right,
AK,
well,
can we do a summary real quick of Red Eye? Mina, AK is asking.
Oh, okay, so I watched it a long time ago, but Cillian Murphy, who's very hot, so it says I'm just gonna read the Google thing because what I remember it is that he's sort of like stalking someone on an airplane, and then he gets violent on an airplane with this lady.
Crimes
So
in the Sky.
yeah, in the sky. So it says, Google says, in the wake of her grandmother's funeral, hotel manager Lisa is waiting to fly back home when she meets a charming young Jackson Ripner at check-in. She thinks it's luck
Red flag.
that they're seated together on the plane, but soon learns otherwise. Jackson hopes to assassinate the head of Homeland Security, but to do so, he needs Lisa to reassign the office official's room number at her hotel. As insurance, Jackson has kidnapped Lisa's father.
Jackie,
Totally down to do
C,
this.
real quick. I don't like Fatal Attraction. I loved. Well, Basic Instinct is always also on our list.
I have never seen Basic Instinct.
Oh,
It's one of those movies. It's one of those movies that I'm like, damn, I've never seen that. I should really watch it. And
Oh
then I
my
never
god,
get to it.
let's do it. It's so good.
Put it
Is
on
that-
the list.
I think
Sade, do you want to come back and do another movie with us?
I'm sorry, guys. I don't do scary.
It doesn't have to be scary. It
Yeah.
can be
if
anything.
it's
We did
not
Roger
scary-
Rabbit last time.
Mhm.
Okay, if it's
And we
not
did a goofy
scary,
movie before that.
Oh, Sade, we should do Bebe's Kids.
okay, I can do
That's
Baby's
not on
Kids.
our
We used to watch that a lot too. Kindergarten
watched-
Cop. We used to watch that a lot.
Kindergarten Cop. We watched that a lot too. It's not a tumor.
Yeah.
Can you guys do Wuthering Heights?
I've never
I
seen
think I put that
either.
on here. Let me see. Yep.
With-
Yep.
but it has
with
to
Tom
be-
Hardy. It says
Yes.
Tom Hardy, Wuthering Heights, Mina's Ask.
Yes.
It's on
Perfect.
here.
Please. I don't even have to be on here. I just want to see you guys talk about it because I love that movie.
I love that genre of stuff.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
Sade, we have to do Kindergarten Cop and Bebe's Kids. Bebe's Kids. So Bebe's Kids, my grandmother sent us the VHS, Mommy King. And we watched that one a lot too. So yeah,
I've
you
seen
have to
that
come back
forever.
for
I
that.
was older when I
Oh,
saw
what was
that
the
one.
one with Halle Berry that we used to watch a lot? too?
Baps.
Baps is on our list.
Baps. Yep. Sorry. So Sade's gonna join us a few more times.
That's a good one.
Baps is, I loved Baps.
But you know
Me
what?
too.
Also, since we're out there, I need Peter Griffin and Jackie to also. What would you guys like to join?
You guys gonna make cameos?
I mean, Jackie made that very special New Year's Eve cameo, and I'm so happy on AK stream, and like it was sad because AK's internet wasn't working.
Oh no.
It like failed on us, but Jackie did come on. It was great. And so Peter Griffin, you too. Let us know what you want. You can slide into our DMs on IG. Let us know.
Nice
Well-
to meet you, AK.
Well, that was our 30 Tuesday.
Whew.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks for International Horrors Day. Maybe I'll wear a bustier. I don't know.
And if you're like worried about like thinking about it, yeah, Prince is in this movie. So
Yeah.
watch
Your
it because it's
bustier
Prince.
should be purple, obviously.
Purple
Should wear a
only.
purple bustier.
Amazon.
They have them. Well, have a good week, guys. Don't hang up, ladies. Bye.